The Mysterious Old Radio Listening Society podcast.
Welcome to the Mysterious Old Radio Listening Society, a podcast dedicated to suspense, crime, and horror stories from the golden age of radio. I'm Eric.
I'm Tim.
And I'm Joshua.
We love mysterious old-time radio stories, but do they stand the test of time? That's what we're here to find out.
This week we're listening to a double feature of episodes I chose, The Mystery of the Dog That Did and Didn't, and The Mystery of the Guest in Room Number 2, both from a series we are checking out for the first time, Dr. Tim Detective.
As is often the case, little is known about the origin of Dr. Tim Detective, and what facts are available contradict each other. There seems to be broad agreement that the 13 episodes of the series were created in 1948 as a way to educate young listeners about topics related to health and medicine.
Part of the difficulty in nailing down details is that apparently different parts of the country would broadcast a series locally years after it was created. For example, an article in the September 3rd, 1950 Morning Star in Rockford, Illinois, announced a radio series to present health education by means of mystery dramas to interest Rockford's school-age boys and girls will be presented weekly on Mondays at 6:15 p.m. over radio station WROK beginning Labor Day. Dr. R.J. Moroz, president of the Winnebago County Medical Society, announced the 13-week dramatized series, especially produced for young listeners, is being presented through the Public Relations Committee of the Medical Society. It is offered through the cooperation of the Rockford Radio Council, sponsored by the Central Illinois Electric and Gas Company and station WROK.
Only 7 of the 13 episodes remain, each about 15 minutes long, and Bob Hahn is credited as playing the title role. So, now let's learn a little bit about health and medicine with The Mystery of the Dog That Did and Didn't and The Mystery of the Guest in Room Number 2 from Dr. Tim Detective. First broadcast probably sometime in 1948.
It's late at night, and a chill has set in. You're alone, and the only light you see is coming from an antique radio. Listen to the sounds coming from the speaker, listen to the music, and listen to the voices.
Sir Tim, Detective, to bring you, by transcription, The Mystery of the Dog That Did and Didn't. It had been a tiring week, and as I washed up after some experiments I'd been making to determine whether a certain murder case had involved the use of poison, I thought what a swell day it would be for a picnic in the mountains. It was early in November, and from my laboratory window, the mountains looked as if they'd been sprinkled with powdered sugar. I'll get Sandy and Jill, I told myself, and we'll make this a Saturday to remember. You see, Jill's my landlady's daughter, and Sandy lives up the street a ways. They've both been mighty useful from time to time in helping me to solve some mysteries. I turned off the water, dried my hands, and started to go out into the hall to call Jill and Sandy when the phone rang.
Hello, Tim?
Yes?
Jarvis speaking. I've got a case that looks right up your alley.
I sighed. There, I thought, goes my holiday in the mountains. Because whenever my old friend Dr. Jarvis calls, it's sure to be a case of more than ordinary interest. Jarvis works for the health department, and I've been consulted by him on problems before. He continued.
Yes, it's right in your neighborhood, too. They've just taken a woman to the hospital, and there's no doubt about it. She has Rocky Mountain spotted fever.
What? In November?
Interested, huh?
But the tick season's been over since, well, the middle of the summer.
Well, you can examine the woman yourself if you want to, but 3 doctors, including myself, have made the diagnosis, and it can't be wrong. Severe chills, followed by a fever of 104 or 5, pain in the muscles and joints, and get this, the spotting of the skin has already started this morning.
But where do I come in?
Well, you and I know there's one cause and one cause only for the spotted fever. Ticks. She's been bitten by an infected tick, and recently. But as you say, the tick season has been over for several months now. Why don't you go over to the house?
Now, look, Jarvis, what makes you think I'm the one?
Well, you're supposed to be good at that sort of thing.
Oh, okay. But don't expect any results. Spotted fever in the winter. Just plain doesn't make sense, that's all. Now, give me that name and address. book, I tried to make sense of the puzzle. The address was that of Mr. Herman May, just around the corner from me. I recognized the name. There was a Willie May, a few years older than Jill and Sandy, who played with him sometimes. And speaking of Sandy and Jill, it was curious, I thought, that I hadn't seen anything of them this morning. Usually on Saturdays, they'd be clamoring at my door. Well, I needn't wonder any longer. I called, "Come in!" Like a streak, a yapping white dog ran between my legs, jumped up and down in greeting, and then dashed around and around my laboratory, barking and sniffing in great excitement. Sandy and Jill followed the dog into the room more slowly, but obviously bursting with excitement.
Tiny, here, Tiny. Come back to this instant.
Oh, gee, I'm sorry, Dr. Tim. I was carrying him and he got away. Come here, Tiny.
The little ball of fur, silent now, came dancing into the laboratory from my adjoining bedroom. I blushed to admit that my bachelor housekeeping isn't all it should be. The dog proved that. For 2 days I'd been looking for that particular sock the dog carried in his mouth. It must have been under the bed.
Put it down, sir. Put it down at once.
The dog dropped the sock and wagged his tail nearly off.
Honest, I'm awful sorry, Dr. Tim. He belongs to Willie May, and his mother's in the hospital.
You mean the dog's mother?
Don't be ridiculous. I mean Willie's mother, and she has something awful. I forget what it's called, and...
It's called Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever, and it's caused by the bite of a tick. Despite its name, the disease is found in almost every state of the Union. Only funny thing is, there aren't supposed to be any ticks around during the cold season.
Good gosh. How did you find out? About Mrs. May, I mean.
Detectives know everything, Sandy.
Hey, I bet I've caught on. Dr. Tim's been called in on the case already. And you can't keep us out of it because Willie May asked us to take care of his dog for him while he's staying over at his aunt's because Mr. May's working and can't get off, and he left the key with us so the doctor who's going to investigate can get in. And all the time it was you, Dr. Tim.
And what are we waiting for? Let's get going.
A few moments later, we unlocked the door to the May house and went in, silent and pondering. Our equipment consisted of flashlights for peering into dark corners in our search for the presence of another tick or two, which might have accounted for the illness of Mrs. May. Each of us had an envelope and a pair of tweezers, so as not to run the risk of crushing an infected tick and getting some of the deadly microbes upon ourselves. After a few joyful homecoming yelps, Tiny disappeared to some secret place of his own, and we began the search in earnest. We divided the front room and the adjoining dining room into areas, calling across to each other as we searched for a chance tick that might be hiding.
Gee, I don't think I've ever even seen a tick, Dr. Tim.
Well, you can't miss one if you find it. They're grayish-brown little bugs. Oh, less than half the size of your little fingernail, which makes them pretty hard to see when they're in their natural setting.
Yeah, I know. I found them in rotting logs in the woods. But why does the bite of a tick give you spotted fever?
The bite of most ticks won't, but there's one particular kind of tick. We doctors call it Dermacentor andersoni, which can pass on the disease to human beings.
Gee, what a name.
But how do the ticks get the fever?
Well, they don't, Jill. They only carry the organism that causes it.
I wish you'd quit using those words. What the heck's an organism?
It's an agent which carries the disease, but it's so small that it can't be seen except through a microscope.
Yeah, but I still want to know...
Well, these ticks bite sheep or squirrels or prairie dogs or coyotes that have the disease, and then they bite people and pass it on to them. They're what we call carriers. They can pass spotted fever on, but don't have it themselves, you see.
Just like the mosquitoes that cause malaria.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like Typhoid Mary. We learned about her in school. She gave hundreds of people typhoid after she'd recovered from it herself. Didn't even know she was carrying the disease around.
Hey, I found something.
Don't touch it. Let me see it.
I thought it was a tick. It's only an old piece of rubber band.
Well, kids, we've covered these 2 rooms thoroughly. We can give them a clean bill of health. Let's move on towards the back of the house. By the time we'd covered the downstairs thoroughly, Sandy and Jill had received an elementary course in Rocky Mountain spotted fever. They learned that it's mostly in April, May, and June that ticks are active. They were made to realize the necessity for protecting oneself with heavy boots, stockings, gloves, and tightly buttoned shirts before going into areas in the mountains which are known to be full of ticks. They learned that the only way to make sure even then is to have one's body thoroughly inspected each evening before going to bed. I explained how to remove all ticks gently from the skin and to remove them without crushing. They learned that the clothing must be inspected as well and all danger of ticks hiding there eliminated. It was a good lesson, but we weren't any further along in our mystery. Just as we finished looking over the downstairs part of the house and the basement, the door opened, and Mr. May came in. We introduced ourselves and soon were deep in conference.
No, you asked Doctor if I have any old hunting clothes or a sheepskin jacket that I might have taken into Tick Country. I don't. I haven't been outside my car in the woods or the mountains for several years.
Well, what about the dog? Perhaps he had a...
Tiny? No. Tiny's never been on a trip during the year we've had him.
Tiny, hearing his name, came joyfully dashing in, bearing as a trophy exactly one half of what looked to be a bedroom slipper. Proudly, he laid it before Mr. May. We all quickly agreed that such a short-haired dog couldn't very well carry ticks without their being easily found. And besides, he'd had no chance to pick them up. There was nothing to do but continue our search. Slowly, we moved upstairs, Mr. May leading the way. Or rather, Tiny leading, with all of us following behind. It was in the closet of Mrs. May's room that our first break came in the case. Sandy gave a shout.
Look, a tick. Right here on Mrs. May's fur coat.
Quickly, we gathered around. I took the coat, laid it on the bed, and then one by one hauled the clothes out of the closet. By the time we were finished, the count was 5 ticks. Under my magnifying glass, all of them we easily identified as the carrier of Rocky Mountain spotted fever, the wood tick Dermacentor andersoni, in the clothes closet of a house in town months after the tick season was over. Here was a mystery indeed. In fact, in the excitement of our discovery, I overlooked what turned out to be one of the most important clues in the whole case. Tiny, the dog, came bounding into the room with a small box in his mouth. He shook his head back and forth as if he were worrying a bone. Suddenly, the lid of the box flew off, and over the carpet flew out a mess of butterflies, the fruit of some collector's search of the previous summer.
Tiny, shame on you. Go away. Here, Dr. Tim, I'll pick some up.
And with a farewell to Mr. May and a promise to resume our detective work later, I took the kids out to eat. It was an hour later. We sat over dessert in a downtown restaurant, with both kids feeding their week's allowance into a jukebox while we discussed the progress of the case.
Well, I got a theory anyway. I think it was murder.
Oh, now, Sandy. No one's dead in the first place. How could it even be attempted murder? Not one person in a million would think of scattering wood ticks around a room in the hopes that the right victim would get spotted fever.
Well, I don't know. Perhaps Mr. May hated his wife.
Oh, that's complete and utter nonsense. Why, those ticks could have bitten him, or young Willie, or maybe.
Hey, that reminds me. We looked all over that doggone house, but we didn't remember the secret room in the basement.
Secret room? What is this, a Middle Ages thriller?
Oh, it isn't really a secret room. It's Willie's photographic laboratorium. Oh, well, sort of where he keeps his collections, too. I've heard him tell about it.
Sure, you go through kind of a winding passage, all painted black, so the light won't spoil the pictures Willie developed.
Let me stop and think a moment. What sort of collections does Master Willie make?
Oh, butterflies and bugs and stuff.
Well, gee, I'll bet that's where Tiny got that box of butterflies.
Now, hold on a second. You mean the dog can go in and out of that room as he pleases?
Sure he can.
Well, but gee whiz, Dr. Tim, what's the connection?
I'm not sure. But I think I know how Mrs. May got spotted fever. You kids hop in the car outside, and I'll make 2 phone calls. And maybe I'll come up with the answer. And I did. The first call was to young Willie May at his aunt's house. I asked one question. Willie said yes. He did collect a lot of miscellaneous insects the summer before. Some of them were ticks. The second call was to a specialist friend of mine who is an authority on the habits of insects. He assured me that certain insects, the wood tick among them, can live in hibernation for months and still have enough life to attach themselves to a human being and cause the disease. It was obvious that Willie's tick collection, scattered around the bedroom by the dog, just as he'd scattered the butterflies, was the solution to the mystery. And it turned out later it was. Sandy and Jill were full of questions, but only 1 or 2 were to the point.
Well, what about Mrs. May? Will she get well?
Well, she has an excellent chance, Jill. Spotted fever is often fatal, but one of the new wonder-working drugs is being used in a lot of cases these days. They're using it on her.
Gosh, isn't there some kind of stuff like vaccination for spotted fever?
There is, but there isn't much reason for anyone to have those inoculations unless he plans to go into places where ticks might reasonably be found. It's not a sure method of preventing spotted fever. Even if used, the injections must be taken 6 weeks before exposure. Being careful is the only answer.
Well, this was your one case where a dog was the carrier of the disease. And yet he wasn't. Not in the usual way.
Yeah, the mystery of the dog that did.
I puzzled over that one and finally came to a compromise. It's the mystery of the dog that did and didn't. This is Dr. Tim, Detective, saying so long until next week at the same time, when Sandy, Jill, and I will bring you by transcription the mystery of the girl from Singapore. This is Dr. Tim, Detective, to bring you, by transcription, the mystery of the guest in number 2. Being a combination of doctor and detective gets pretty rugged sometimes, and this was one of those times, all right. The guest in number 2, we called him. Jill, that's my landlady's daughter, first called him to my attention.
Mom just rented number 2. You know, the room up on the second floor. To the doggonedest guy.
I remember you thought I was the doggonedest guy when I moved in here and set up a laboratory for crime detection and medical work.
Well, but Sandy thinks so too, don't you, Sandy?
Yeah, I think maybe he's a criminal in hiding.
I'm afraid you kids have developed unnatural suspicions from helping me out with some of my cases.
Well, anybody that says his name is Jones,
Oh, now look. Some people really are named Jones. Several 100,000 of them, I presume, and...
Yeah, but if that's his name, then why are all his suitcases marked with RWM?
Sure, every one of them, stamped in gold letters.
None of our business, kids. Boy, your mother'd skin you alive, Jill, if she knew you were prying into the luggage of a paying customer. And as for you, Master Sandy, it might be smart for you to confine your detective work to your own premises and not in other people's houses, right?
Right.
Oh, okay, I guess. But I still think that it's darn funny.
I wish now I'd paid more attention to Sandy and Jill in the matter of the stranger in number 2. But you never know until it's too late. Anyway, nothing happened to break the routine of my laboratory week for a couple of weeks. Then, late one afternoon, just before dinner time, I was cleaning up my lab.
Gee, Dr. Tim, you don't mean those jars are full of real blood? Blood from people?
Exactly that, Jill.
What do you do with it?
Oh, a lot of things. Blood's a pretty useful thing. A lot more so than most people realize.
Where do you get it?
From the bank, Jill. The blood bank. And that's just what it actually is. All over the country, these banks keep blood for use whenever and wherever it's needed.
Sure, but what do you do with it?
Well, that's a long story, Sandy. But it amounts to this. For years, doctors have known that blood isn't just one thing. It's lots and lots of things. And each one of those parts or fractions of the blood can be separated from the other parts. And these are used to cure people. I'm trying to find some new blood parts, or some new uses for the old ones. That's why there's always blood samples in the laboratory refrigerator, catch?
Sure.
Well, I'm all cleaned up here at last. Now, what's the news?
Mom said I'd better come up and see you.
Hmm?
A professional visit, she called it. I don't feel so good today.
Symptoms?
Well, I've been sort of sick at my stomach, and my eyes hurt, and I feel all kind of worn out.
Personally, I think she's just trying to get out of doing homework tonight.
I am not.
Well, let me take a look, Jill. Stick out your tongue. Uh-huh. Say Sandy.
Yes, Dr. Tim.
Hand me that thermometer, will you?
Sure.
Thanks. Yeah, I'll keep it in your mouth for a while, Jill.
Now, Dr. Tim,
Yes?
you know that guy Jones upstairs?
Oh, I wouldn't say I know him, Sandy. We've spoken in the hall.
Well, I know you told us to lay off, but the doggonest thing happened just a few minutes ago while I was waiting by the stairs for Jill.
Ah, the curse of an overactive imagination. Go on.
Anyway, he came in with this other man right behind him. And Dr. Tim, I'd swear that other guy had a gun in his overcoat pocket, was pushing it right up against this Jones guy's back. They didn't see me because
I didn't have time to laugh because just at that moment, from right overhead, came the sound of a fight. And then something else. A shot. For a moment, we stood there paralyzed. It wasn't until I heard a crash of glass and saw a figure hurtle past my window and streak it over the back fence and up the alley that I could move. And by the time that we reached the upstairs room, it looked as if we'd arrived too late. The mysterious Mr. Jones was lying on the floor with a pool of blood beside him. He'd been shot right through the back. Looking back on it afterwards, I don't know what I'd have done without those kids. There wasn't anybody else in the house, and if I ever needed 6 hands, I needed them then. Sick as she was, Jill just gulped and said,
Holy gee. Is he dead?
He wasn't quite, but it was a matter of moments. Gunshot wounds can be pretty nasty, and where there's loss of blood, you always have shock to contend with, and shock can be mighty serious in itself. Sandy didn't have to be told. In a flash, he was downstairs and back with my medical bag. One word to Jill, the word police, sent her flying to a telephone, and I knew an ambulance and help would be on the way at once. Meantime, the mysterious Mr. Jones was in the hands of God and a doctor. I hoped I was a good doctor, and I remember asking God to help me out on that score. Jones was dying, fast. Then I remembered that blood in my laboratory. Downstairs in the lab, Jill and I worked as we'd never worked before, while Sandy kept watch upstairs over the wounded man. We didn't talk much, Jill and I, just a few quiet questions and answers.
Here's the microscope slide, Dr. Tim. Are you going to give him a transfusion?
Yes. Have to check his type of blood first with a microscope. Use the wrong kind of blood and it would kill him.
Gee.
Good thing I have whole blood on hand for those experiments. He wouldn't last until they could get some here. Now, that solution, please.
Here.
Ah, this one seems to match his blood. Quick, hand me that bottle marked Type O. Now, go to the sterilizer. 20 minutes later, the ambulance arrived. 2 squad cars and a dozen or so police were scouring the neighborhood for some trace of the man who had tried to murder the mysterious Mr. Jones. And as for Jones, that blood had saved his life, had replaced the vital fluid, the blood cells, and all the other chemical elements so necessary to keeping the life of a man going. Jones was still unconscious, of course, and would be for a long time yet. His condition was so serious that he couldn't even be moved to a hospital. It would have meant sure death from more loss of blood and shock. The case was out of my hands now, but I'd done my best, and I hoped my best was good enough. I sank down weakly in a chair in my laboratory. And it wasn't until I noticed Sandy and Jill, big-eyed and bursting with excitement, that I remembered the other side of the affair. Who had shot Jones, and why? Maybe I could help there, too. But one look at Jill, and I knew her heart was going to be broken. For this was one case where she was going to be out of the running. I spoke quietly. Jill.
Yes, Dr. Tim?
You're going to bed.
Oh, Dr. Tim!
Hate to do it to you, old girl, but you remember that little examination we were making?
Oh, yes, but...
As your doctor, madam, I order you to bed. You have measles. A few minutes later, the house had 2 bed patients. One, a very sad young lady with measles. The other, a man nobody knew, who had almost been murdered. A third patient, Sandy, was standing up bravely under a light, while I stood over him with a hypodermic syringe.
What's the stuff, Doc?
Well, believe it or not, Sandy, it comes from blood, too. It's going to keep you from catching Jill's measles, or at least it'll make certain that you have a very light case and protect you for a long time afterwards.
What do you call it?
Immune serum globulin.
Well, let's skip that one, huh?
Well, you see, this stuff is one of those blood parts, fractions I was telling you about. When you take blood from people who have had measles and separate it into its parts, this globulin...
Hey, how do you spell that one?
Well, Globulin. It works wonders to keep people from getting measles from other people.
I'll take your word for it, Doc. Go ahead and shoot.
Okay.
I didn't even feel it. Am I safe now?
Perfectly safe.
Dr. Tim,
Yes.
you know, I've been watching that guy, Jones, the one who was shot. I can tell you something about him.
What?
He's loony. You know what he does?
No.
He collects rocks, believe it or not. Just common old rocks.
Well, that's a harmless pastime.
Sure got him in a mess of trouble.
Maybe you've got a point there, Sandy. But why would anybody shoot a man for collecting rocks? Unless they were gold or something.
Whoever shot him was after those rocks, all right. When you left me alone with Mr. Jones in the room upstairs, I sort of noticed that several of his suitcases had been busted open. There were rocks with labels on them scattered all over the room. I'd sure like to know why.
It must have been midnight when I decided I couldn't get to sleep and might as well do a little looking around. After what we'd all been through, I wanted to forget the mystery and relax. The police could carry on from here. But I couldn't. So I went up the stairs to where the mysterious Mr. Jones hovered between life and death. I motioned the nurse to be silent and carefully examined the room. Sandy was right. There was nothing of interest except the rocks. There were hundreds of them, all sizes and all shapes, and all neatly labeled with cryptic little stickers which said Northwest 100A or South G8, referring no doubt to some location on a map where they had been gathered. I took a couple with me to examine at leisure in the laboratory and started downstairs when I noticed a light coming from under the door to Jill's room.
Come in.
Well, sort of late for a sick girl to be reading, isn't it?
Oh, honest, I've been asleep.
Well, it's lights out now. Doctor's orders.
Okay, Doctor. How's Mr. Jones? Is he going to live?
I wish I could tell you, Jill. The use of blood has given him a chance. First the transfusion, and then later maybe he'll need plasma.
What's that?
Oh, plasma's another part of blood, Jill. It can be stored indefinitely and won't spoil as quickly as whole blood. You use it when you don't need the red cells of the blood, just the liquid part.
Gee, blood is sure wonderful stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Dr. Tim, what are you doing with those rocks in your hand?
Oh, these? Well, they're from Mr. Jones' room. Seems to be a lot of them up there.
Are they anything special?
I don't know, Jill. Sandy mentioned them, and I thought...
Gee whiz. I'll bet I know what they are. I was reading in the paper tonight. Everybody's out looking for them.
For what?
Well, gosh, I forget what you call it. But prospectors go out with some kind of electric machines, and they...
I just stood there with my mouth hanging open. What a dope I'd been. It took 2 kids to tell me what I should have seen from the very first moment. Without even saying goodnight to Jill, I dashed down the stairs, picked up the telephone, and called the Federal Bureau of Investigation. This was a case for the G-Man. It took a couple of weeks before the case was cleared up. My hunch, thanks to the work of Sandy and Jill, had been right. Jones had been prospecting for uranium, the vital mineral for atomic energy and research. Jones told us the whole story later, how he was prospecting for the government, which badly needed new supplies of uranium. How he'd been forced at the point of a gun to give up his map and then brutally shot. The G-men caught the man all right, but never gave out the whole story of who was behind the robbery and the attempted murder. But it wasn't anyone working for the good of this country. Jones had really found uranium, too, and the mine is being worked today, thanks to Sandy, to Jill, and to a mysterious substance known for thousands and thousands of years as blood. This is Dr. Tim, Detective, saying so long until next week at this same time, when Sandy, Jill, and I will dip into my casebook and bring out a brand new transcribed story, The Mystery of the Man from Trouble Creek.
That was The Mystery of the Guest in Room Number 2 and The Mystery of the Dog That Did and Didn't from Dr. Tim, Detective.
Yep.
Here on the Mysterious Old Radio Listening Society podcast. Once again, I'm Eric.
I'm Tim.
And I'm Joshua.
I want to be honest. I thought we had a lot more years left before we ran out of radio shows.
And here's the bottom of the barrel.
We've done every single radio show. We're down to Dr. Tim. Medical detective, right? Or doctor detective? Or
Dr. Tim Detective.
Dr. Tim Detective.
Part of why I'm so enamored with this whole thing is the
Your name is
ambiguity.
Tim?
Yeah, you mean like it should be Dr. Tim Pedophile?
Well, it's not clear. Like, is this a guy
No,
named
it's not.
Tim Detective who's a doctor? Is his name like, I'm Charles Tim and I'm a detective as well? Or is it, I'm Tim Plummer who's also a detective? Or
They allude in the fact to the kid's parents or mom wasn't real happy with him moving in and didn't trust him. Like,
Do they?
Yeah, there was a weird moment where they said, when you set up all this stuff in this laboratory, you thought it was pretty weird, didn't you? Yeah, Mom thought it was weird. There was
Okay, yeah.
and it was like, yeah, everything about you
What's
is weird.
weird is I've had a long day at work. I'm going to have a picnic with some children. That's weird.
it's also, I don't know where, if I had to now go find a place to rent that I lived and put a medical lab in, that's a tough real estate find.
Right.
So question, shall we tackle these episode by episode or just jumble it all together?
I think we can jumble it all together.
Okay.
I will also just put out, so Tim, why did you choose these episodes?
Yes.
So obviously, because it's Dr. Tim Detective, I thought, that's my name is Tim. That struck me. And
Oh, I was 99% sure it ended there.
no, by bizarre coincidence,
I'm also a doctor. and a detective.
I've just started watching House.
Ah, yes.
Obviously, for years, people said, House is an amazing show. I'm sure it is, but I've never
It
seen
is.
it. So I'm almost to the first season, so I'm just flush in medical mystery joy.
Why not ruin it?
Well, you also, it's timely because if you own a dog, we're right now in the Bravecto. Get your dog on Bravecto tick season.
Mhm.
And I kid you not, listening to that, I got up, looked at my calendar, and went, "Oh, right, my dog needs his Bravecto today."
Thanks, Dr. Tim.
Yeah, as a Minnesotan, I think the tick one resonated with
Yeah.
me. The stronger of the two, although I did find both of them entertaining in a weird way. But
That was more so than the education for children of, like, when you've got someone bleeding out on the floor, here's what you do.
Here's what you do.
Right.
When someone's been shot in the back in your attic.
I just can relate to ticks more than
Fair
being
enough.
shot in the back. The scene of them with flashlights searching an entire house for a wood tick
Right.
was gold.
If you don't have wood ticks where you live, here's how you'd find wood ticks. You'll feel them in the middle of the night crawling on you.
Yeah, and they love children. Instead of searching, he's just sort of put Jill or Sandy just as like
Sort
a
of
Judas
Dip them in
goat.
barbecue sauce.
Just-
and
yeah.
set 'em up.
Wait till the hungry wood ticks came crawling out of the woodwork.
There is something to this. I hate ticks so bad. God, when I find them on me, I just, By the way, if you don't know what Bravecto does with dogs, the ticks bite them still,
Mhm.
but then they die because of what's in their system. It's poison for ticks. So when
I
you
live
find
that same way of, like, anything that bites me is probably not going to survive the experience.
so take that.
They're like, oh, Diet Dr. Pepper.
So when you find the ticks on your dog, it's very satisfying because they're just dead.
Mhm.
They're still hooked on.
Oh, yeah. It's how children in Minnesota are introduced to body horror.
Yeah.
It's like, did you get it, Mom? No, but the head is still inside you.
Yes. The head comes off. So
Burn it with a match.
this is an absolutely true story. My real father, I had a father and a stepfather, all right? So he passed away, my real father, about 8 years old. But he was a very much a nonstop smoker, right? So one day something's on my head, right? Something hurts on my head. I'm probably 5 years
I know
old.
where this is going.
They brought me into the bathroom see that it's a tick, pull the hair aside. Here's how they got the tick out of my head. With the cigarette.
Yeah.
Yeah. He lit a cigarette and burned that SOB out of my scalp with a cigarette.
Oh, yeah.
1970s, everybody. Let's hear it.
Every ashtray in my childhood was full of cigarette butts and the dead bodies of wood ticks. If you got one, they put in the ashtray.
Yeah.
And you burn it right there.
And you burn it with
warning to the others.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like a Viking funeral death for these wood ticks.
You can't crush them.
Yeah.
They're like made of like kryptonite.
To get us back to the episode, though, a fur coat full of wood ticks is a really revolting image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will give it credit there.
And
I don't
idea
think
of
they
a
intend.
dog walking in with a box full of wood ticks and just shaking it around.
I mean, it is so what a dog would do. Yeah.
It is.
And they do, we didn't search the secret room in the basement.
Now
Now
you're
you're
telling me
right.
about the secret room in the basement?
Right? Yeah, this is a really tough marriage in the idea of we want to educate and make it a mystery.
Yeah.
Because the dialogue veers off into literally like one of those old film strips. The wood tick primarily lives, and he just
In your
starts
hair now.
right, spouting information and then back to solving a mystery of some sort with both Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boy. One of them.
Yeah.
One Hardy Boy.
It's clearly an adult woman playing Jill,
Oh,
and
yeah.
her voice is so high-pitched, I made out about half of her dialogue.
I couldn't understand most of what she was saying.
What's that you said, Jill?
You should stay here.
You're sick. You have the measles and we don't have a cure yet.
Probably one of my favorite moments in both of these episodes is when the children are suspicious of a man who moves in who merely has a different last name than the initials on his suitcase, while they're totally comfortable with
The other guy.
with Dr. Tim, who's an unmarried man whose only friends are children, and he has bottles of blood in his
Right?
room.
And his name is Tim Smith?
Yeah.
Or Tim Jones?
Oh no, that's the other guy. The other guy's name
Oh,
is Jones, who just the stranger in number two.
Right.
The quantity of times they said number two. was
And
a little
where did they
bit- I've
live?
had some number twos that are pretty strange.
As a spy, number 2.
What is this boarding house? Like
Yeah.
this is that where do these kids live? What is happening? Oh my God. Every single element of this is terrible.
I mean, it is exactly what educational
Attempt.
educational shows for children were in this era
Right.
in the late 40s, early 50s.
Yeah.
It feels like a parody because it has been parodied so often for the last,
Right.
what is that, 75 years?
Right.
This is sort of part of the cultural zeitgeist now, this type of very pointed educational infotainment? I don't know what it would be called.
Right.
Well, it even having my own name in the title, I don't know that I would have brought this except for I found the disjointedness between exactly what you're saying. Like, we're going to tell a mystery that has, like, there's crime and a guy got murdered or is almost murdered. And we're teaching lessons about hemoglobin.
Yeah, immune serum globulin. That's the truly exciting part of this, kids.
It was so hit like, oh, it's touch and go with this guy. I don't know. I've done everything I can. And the whole thing is that we don't know if he's going to live. And then out of the blue, like, he's alive. Like, there's no celebration of it. There's no reveal of it. It's like in passing. Oh, by the way, that guy's alive.
Yeah.
I'm waiting
Saved
to
by
find.
jars of blood that I
Yeah.
keep.
But-
Keep jars of blood, kids.
Well, you know, they brought, right. Yes, and wear Kleenex boxes on your feet.
Aluminum foil on your head.
They're just leading you down this path of, I wonder if this guy's going to live, and then don't ever really come back to it.
I guess I wasn't being legitimately critical of this children's show. I didn't hold it to the same standards that Eric's like,
I think-
if you're on this podcast, you better be suspense level good.
It's not lost to me that I might be bringing in this year's worst of episode.
Oh, you absolutely have.
Not my first time.
Now, worst of is when you fall far below your intentions. This is the intention of this is to trick kids into being educated.
And Eric got his dog
No, you're right.
You are the target audience. That's why you're so bitter.
Yeah. Thanks.
And as a double feature, it was nice to put the Tick episode first that was fairly innocuous in terms of violence or criminal stakes. Although I personally prefer Sandy's idea that wood ticks were used as a murder weapon. That would be cool. But
Let's think it through, Sandy.
So I was legitimate.
Right. You get so mad at her. Don't be stupid. Come on.
I was surprised when someone actually got shot in the second episode
Yeah.
because I thought the first one established, okay, that's the ceiling for
Action adventure.
yes. And like, whoa, this guy got shot in the back just
think
for
the
having the wrong initials on his suitcase.
those kids, are they not scarred? Someone got shot and they walked in on that person bleeding out, and he says they were troopers and called the police and went and got, I don't know, Band-Aids or whatever the kid did. Like, those kids are horrifyingly scarred. There was a murder attempt in their house or whatever the hell, the giant mansion of rooms they live in.
Sandy had measles. I mean, she's probably not tracking anything.
Right?
It was nobody they knew. It was just number 2 guy.
The dogs have got to get better trained, though.
I think the dog might have done it on purpose. Like, I will kill these people.
Kill you all. They don't know. Wood ticks just hibernate.
Is that true, by the way? Can wood ticks hibernate? Because now I'm even more
Dr.
freaked
Tim
out.
doesn't lie.
All right. Well, now I'm even more freaked out. I'm going to turn the heat on in my house, start smoking cigarettes. Get ready.
And so the fan fiction in my head then is the house version of this, where Dr. Tim has these kids next to a whiteboard listing off symptoms of then insulting them.
It's not lupus, you idiot. It's never lupus.
There's got to be an entertaining, good way to educate. I mean, does it always have to end up bad? Like, you've learned something and you were entertained. Can that not happen?
And Schoolhouse Rock, I think, is the model.
Yeah, there you go. There's a good example. Thank you. I wanted one. I'm just a Tim. Yes, I'm only a Tim.
I'm a detective and a doctor.
I know the preamble to the Constitution because of Schoolhouse Rock.
You might not know it exactly correctly.
We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, I will not finish, but I know the whole thing because I can sing it.
But didn't they edit it so that
We
it
the
fits the
people.
rhythm?
No, go look it up. I also know the Lord's Prayer from that Lord's Prayer song that was a hit in the 70s. You know that one I'm talking about? Our Father who art in heaven. It was that big hit. I know
Pink
it.
Floyd did that.
It was actually a nun that recorded that and got a huge
Well,
hit.
Pink Floyd does the psalm. I'm forgetting the number.
Oh, yeah.
In Animals.
In Animals,
Yeah.
does Psalm.
So that's probably what you're thinking of.
No, I was thinking,
The Lord is my shepherd.
Yeah.
I shall not want.
He make me lie down.
Thanks, Dr. Tim.
We sure learned a lot today.
What the hell did you just put me through?
A fur coat full of wood ticks.
Yep, it's terrible. That is scary and horror. If they would have put it on, like, put on this fur coat. Oh my God, I'm full of ticks. That would have been great.
I mean, the process of we found 5 wood ticks through this long process of looking at every piece of clothing, it always to me is like, so you missed like 60 of them.
Right. Yeah, you find one wood tick, there's 1,000 more. That is a fact.
On your scalp.
There's nothing worse than finding a
That's-
wood tick and then you go, well, I've got to go get naked
Mm-hmm.
and do
Start
the
smoking.
I might say there's something worse. Leeches.
Oh God, leeches. Okay, I'm with
Another
you on that.
Minnesota fun parasitic adventure we could have.
Oh,
That's why Minnesota touched nothing.
right.
I remember being at a lake as a child so
Oh, yeah.
vividly, and I'm sitting there, and some girl comes running out of the lake, just shrieking, and I'm like, "Mom, what's going on?" And my mom's like, "Leech." She's like so calm, and I remember being just horrified. And I swear,
Just letting you know what a burden you are, not
Yeah.
answering your question.
I walked out of a lake as an 8-year-old once, with about 20 of them on me, just covered, and they had to yank them all off.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what else I hate about lakes?
Water.
Fish biting you.
That's
Fish
kind
come
of
up and
cute
bite
when
you.
they
I
just
hate
sort
it.
of nibble.
And seaweed. Give me a pool. Just
Water.
give me a pool.
A cement pond.
Give me a cement pond. Hey, I'm ready to vote. I hated it. Tim?
I'm not going to say classic. It probably doesn't stand the test of time, but this is super historically significant.
I'll give you that.
Keep going.
In part because it is standing in for a whole sort of genre we never touch. And I love it because my name is in it, and because it makes me laugh, and I had a good time.
I think it is adorable and slightly weird and was very fun to listen to. It's a kids' educational radio show from the mid 20th century. I'm not going to hold it to the same standards I hold other things. And I thought it had a lot of unexpected moments. I never got bored listening to it. I'm not going to listen to all 13 of the surviving episodes, probably.
Only 5 more after these 2.
Okay, I'm going to listen to at least 5 more. Definitely stands the test of time, as I said earlier, because it is incredibly familiar to us 75 years later, because people recognize the inherent comic value of the awkwardness of how these early 50s educational programs were put together, and that style of comedy has never died. You can go online right now and find somebody doing it on YouTube or TikTok. So it definitely, in that respect, stands the test of time. Now, do I endorse choosing episodes for this podcast because the series has your name in it? Probably not, but you lucked out again, Tim, you bastard. I had a lot of fun.
Also, that's payback for Cinnamon Bear.
I love Cinnamon Bear. Maybe I got to do a whole different podcast.
Tim, tell him other stuff.
Please go over to ghoulishdelights.com, home of this podcast. They find other episodes there. You can vote in polls, leave comments. Let us know how much you loved these episodes, especially if you're Tim. This is kind of special for you, Tims.
Or if you're a doctor or a detective.
Yeah.
You don't have to be all 3. We can't all be all 3.
If you have a weird relationship with 2 kids, they're not yours.
Please don't email us.
You can also find a link to our store if you want like t-shirts, coffee mugs, swag. We got it for you. And you'll find a link to our Patreon page.
Yes, go to patreon.com/themorals and support this podcast. There's just so many reasons to do it, but there are all kinds of perks, and we should have a wood tick level, a jar of blood level, a level in which you get to delete this podcast from your stream.
I'm just hoping that you're not a first-time listener on this one.
This is an outlier, and I'm sorry if you love this and you're like, oh, it's an outlier. I won't be listening anymore. I want
let us know.
Dr. Tim Detective all the time.
Hey, the Mysterious Old Radio Listening Society Theater Company does recreations live on stage of classic old-time radio shows and a lot of our own original scripts and work. We are performing radio drama almost monthly, and you can find out where we are performing, what we're performing, and how to get tickets just by going to ghoulishdelights.com. If you're in this neck of the woods, first of all, eat your Bravecto, and second of all, come see us. We'd love to have you and see you. Coming up next, The Devil and Daniel Webster, because my name's in it.
You're the devil?
No, we're doing Joshua fought the Battle of Jericho. No, next is my choice, and my name appears nowhere in it. We will be listening to The 10 Years from Suspense. Until then... Look out!
I think the ticks might have been a murder weapon. Shut up, Sandy. Sorry, I just thought maybe a good plot might be help. This something interesting might happen.